Train the muscles, not the joints.
Welcome back to Natural Gland Bodybuilding. Mountain. And something I'd like to talk about today is something that is going to help you enjoy training a lot more over the long run. And that's really the focus of the videos on this channel. I'd like to help you find what is the best way for you to train, but also find out how to enjoy it, right? Because right now we've got so much external noise and so much information coming at you from all different directions. And a lot of times when us older dudes were training back in the day, we had the benefit of being in our own sound chamber. So some of the best days, best workouts I ever had were in my garage when I was 15 years old. And I had big dreams and aspirations about what I was going to lift and everything. But at the same time, I also could see myself improve in very small ways. And I didn't have a lot of people around me to compare myself to, so I was always looking at what I was improving upon instead of getting fixated on where I was not or where I am not, right? And that's the real bitch about goals. If you have goals, they can be really great. They can help you grow in aspirations. And some of you guys that watch this channel have goals to become natural bodybuilding champs. Other people just want to be in a bit better shape. And then some of the older guys just want to learn how to defeat death itself. And I'm still working on that. You know, like how do we defeat that black-cowled demon called death, right? And how do we become healthier and stronger as we go through this aging process? So when you are focusing on the positives of something, you start to build upon that. And it's called bodybuilding, not body breakdown. You do break the body as far as you stimulate it and you break the muscle tissue down in whatever way is debatable, right? Because I know that's another thing that's going around. People get lost in the details. Do you notice that? They get lost too much in the details instead of looking at just what is working, and that's it, right? So when I was by myself in the garage and I was just noticing what I was improving upon, a big part of it was that I was also noticing how I was feeling, what it felt like to squeeze the muscle a certain way, what it felt like to move the weight in a good groove that was well coordinated and smooth. And I started to pay attention to these different feelings and sensations. Another thing I did was when I was doing incline curls, I would focus on feeling the bicep. I knew when I started bringing the shoulders forward or the elbows forward that my shoulders were burning like crazy, but not necessarily my biceps. So I was focusing, hyper-focusing on how to hit those biceps or how to perform the exercise in the way that was going to make my biceps grow. And when you are by yourself, the sensations, it's almost like the volume gets turned up. You start to feel things and notice things because you're just, like I've said before, playing in your own sandbox with nobody around. And I find that right now when people watch a lot of YouTube and Instagram, they can get some great useful tips, but sometimes they get lost in the comparison game and they're just looking at what they are not or what they can't lift. They see somebody lift 500 pounds and they're like, I can't lift that, so there's something wrong with me. And they focus on what they can't do instead of what they can and focus on following the feeling. So this leads me to what I want to say. A lot of people, they chase numbers, they chase strength, they chase getting more reps every single workout. But the most important thing to chase is the sensation of well-being in the body and the muscular fatigue and the feeling that the muscles have gotten hit a certain way, like they've gotten fatigued or exhausted, almost where sometimes you get the shakes or you get this deep burn that kind of sits there. And it's almost like the muscles stay warm after the workout long after because there's something going on in there. It's like you've activated this. It's like you've thrown the switch, as Igor, Dr. Frankenstein's assistant, used to do, right? Throw these feet, right? Something like that. So when you're focusing on the sensations, not only does it help you give up the game of insecurity or obsession with what number you're lifting, but it also helps you focus on what's really important. And that is, where is the stress happening? What type of stress is it? Are my joints safe in this, or am I taking a beating in the wrong way or not? And when you warm up, this is what you're supposed to do as well, is you're supposed to focus on what is happening. Like, is there a muscle that feels tweaky or not? You know, like today when I was bench pressing during my warm up, I noticed that my pec felt hyper tight for some reason, my left pec, not my right. So my left shoulder, I probably slept on it kind of funny, and then my pec was overly tight. So I warmed it up for several sets until it felt normal and stable and it was firing properly. And then I moved up in weight. But if I would have just moved up in weight, who knows, maybe I would have pulled something or tweaked something. And this is why it's so important to pay attention. But what I really think is the biggest benefit of paying attention and being in the moment is that you start to feel a certain enjoyment from what you're doing. Even through the pain and exhaustion, you start to feel a certain enjoyment of just the breath and the movement of energy itself and the squeezing of the muscles. And then from there, the numbers come. You start to get stronger. You start to put more reps on your sets, but you're never forgetting to pay attention to what is happening with these tensions at the same time. And when you're in the here and now, and of course I'm getting meditative on you here, but when you're in the here and now and you're outside of the mind, when you stop engaging the mind and you're truly here, there is a happiness or a fulfillment that meets you at the same time that can be a part of your workouts. And that's what is most often missed, especially with people who are aspiring to goals. They keep the goal in the mind all the time, but they don't make the goal to be truly here and absolutely one with this moment as they're doing what they're doing. It's like a very Mr. Miyagi thing. Like, you just concentrate on that bonsai tree, but you're so focused on it, you're not thinking about where you want to be. You're focused on what is here and what you're doing. And I know it might seem weird to some of you or esoteric or whatever, but it really is the truth. As you're with the weights, you're paying attention and you're super focused. And that focus will bring enjoyment as well as ultimate awareness that helps you make the right decision for the next set or the next exercise or whatever it is that you need to do with your range of motion, your weights, or your rep ranges. Because you become hyper aware of all the little moving mechanisms in the body, and you start to notice when something feels a little bit out of alignment or off, and you make adjustments because of that. But a person who's heavily in their mind, they'll say, no, I have to lift this no matter what. And I'm seeing this with some of the teenagers at the gym right now. They'll just have a number in their head. They got to hit that number in any given workout. And then they go there and they do it, and they don't pay attention to how the body's feeling. And then they end up tweaking something or injuring something. So you don't want to go down that path. What's the point? The body is speaking to you. And the whole point of this natural bodybuilding journey is to listen to what the body is saying and gently ease it into certain directions to get it to adapt, but not to ignore it altogether, like many people do with my videos.
Mountain.
So yeah, I think this is a great way to learn how to enjoy your workouts more. Paying attention will bring a new level of motivation because you're surrendering all that comparison game and the obsession with goals. Just make the goal meeting the weights and enjoying what you're doing. And you're going to get a lot farther in the long run because you're going to be more consistent, more aware, and you'll grow in wisdom at a much faster rate that way. So I hope this helps out in your training. Thanks a lot for watching. If you need to get a hold of me, just go to naturalgalantbodybuilding.com, and thanks to the Patreon supporters, and take care for now.